All right. So today we're talking about all of the different options to get your supplies for Advent of Tess. This is my annual challenge where I make 25 tutorial videos and release them on December 1st through 25th each year. And they all use a hexagon. And in the origami world, finding paper with your hexagon already cut out is pretty rare. It can be a long process to take a sheet of square or rectangular paper and cut out each hexagon. Now, the previous solution to that has been cutting templates, like the ones that I have in my full pack with rectangular sheets of Skytone, or the supplemental sizes that I have, the small and medium. The small is specifically what I would recommend for Advent of Tess size. And with those templates, you don't have to work through one sheet at a time. You can do 5, 6, even 7 sheets at a time, plop your template on top, cut around with a rotary cutter, and get nice hexagons. However, you still have that worry of, did I cut precisely enough? How accurate is, the templates from me, you can rely on being accurate because they're laser cut. But if you make your own hexagon template, then you're worrying about, okay, is this actually accurate? So one of the things I did this year is get some pre-cut hexagons made. This is a machine process, so they're all exactly the same. And don't worry, I wasn't sitting here cutting them all myself. That's why I'm able to offer sets of 50 for $30 at gatheringfolds.com. While I was at it, I also had some other sets made that have the crease patterns for each of the days of Advent of Tess. And so that's a set of 25, also on Skytone paper. And I also had sets made with grid lines pressed into them that are perfect for doing the Advent of Tess patterns, because there are 6 divisions in this grid and you need 24 total for each of these patterns. So this takes care of the division of 3 for you. And in order to use these, you would fold up on the grid line, use your bone folder or whatever other tool you have to smooth it really hard across, and continue folding across the paper. You would do this for all the lines and then fold them back in the opposite direction as well to make sure that you have nice reversible creases for your remaining gridding. So those are my pre-cut hexagon options. This is kind of a game changer because you don't need to invest a ton of time in getting to your hexagon. It can just arrive at your door. And speaking of things arriving at your door, all of my paper pack orders for the at least next several months are going to ship with a flyer for Advent of Tess and 2 postcards. So this is the only way to get these very pretty print materials to go along with Advent of Tess. And when I ship supplies, I make sure that it's very securely packaged. So, for example, this is the envelope that would fit these guys. It would be shrink wrapped or otherwise sealed in place. The full packets are behind me, several steps away, and the mic cord won't let me just go grab them right now. But that will slot in securely in here, and you don't have to worry about crushed corners when you're getting your supplies. The bigger rectangular sheets I put inside of a cardboard sleeve first. You get to see more of my desk than usual. So these are the bigger sheets. You can see they're in here. This is taped, so it's very secure. I can shake this and it's not going anywhere. And then that slots into a bigger envelope, and that can fit up to 150 sheets at a time. It can fit the 75 sheets plus the large and mini hexagon templates, plus the bone folder and 2-colored pencil and clips for the full pack. It can fit add-ons to that full pack, like say you want to get the full pack and the small and medium hexagons. That all fits. You want all that, and also one of the cutout hexagons with the crease patterns. That all fits in one package. And the way I have my shipping set up is that these bigger packs will ship for $12.90, and the smaller packs, for the most part, unless you really, really load it up, are going to ship for $6.90. So it's a consistent shipping expense within the US. Outside of the US, there's other calculations. As usual, that is a bit more expensive to ship internationally. But yeah, just wanted to pop in, tell you about all of these different options. And I mean, we have plenty of time. So I'm going to go ahead and show just how easy it is to get to 24 grid divisions with one of these pre-pressed hexagons. So I'm going to start by pressing the folds that are here. And this is folding nice and easy. One caveat that I'll add with these pre-pressed grids is that the press lines are not as narrow as actual fold lines. So there's still a little bit of discernment, a little bit of lining things up when you're putting in these initial folds. And then I'll reverse everything in that direction. The other thing about these is that there's like a side that it was pressed down on top of. That's the side that you want to do as valley folds first. You can go ahead and get all of those details into place. No pinch marks, no remembering what's done in what order to get these thirds. And so this is like the easy way to get 24 grid divisions. Once the folds are put in place, then it really just wants to fold on the particular fold lines that you put in. So it's not like your grid lines are going to permanently be wider. And So that gets me all of my sixths. And I'll reverse this direction. And then I want to go in and put in the 12ths. And as usual with grids, we always want to trust the internal grid lines more than the edge of the paper. So when I'm folding, I'm always looking for the intersections of grid lines and making sure I'm folding to those. So even though it is machine made, sometimes human precision is better than machines. And so I've got the 12 divisions in this direction. And yeah, so this is turning into a bit of an exercise in how fast it is actually possible to fold a 24 division grid for Advent of Tess. And we shall see. I started this grid at 7 after. We'll see where it ends up. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the paper supplies or other tools. One change from previous years is that I sold out of the butcher paper rolls and the cutting tools and decided not to continue stocking them. Mostly because they're an awkward shape for the packaging materials that I have. And also because they are available other places. And so I didn't feel great about charging so much extra for something that's available readily in small quantities at a lower price. So if you are looking for butcher paper, I'm happy to send you the link to the kind that I've tested. And if you're looking for those cutting supplies, the rotary cutter and cutting mat and quilting ruler, that is something I can also give you pointers on. The options for rotary cutters, quilting rulers, and cutting mats that you'll find at a local fabric store or craft store are excellent. So now I've got all of my 12ths. That means I'm halfway through my grid. It's been 7 going on 8 minutes with folding the grid. And this size of paper, 5 inches per side, is a size that, for me personally, I would be comfortable going down to 48 divisions on here. So this, like, for an experienced tessellation folder, this is a reasonable size of paper to get repeats of the Advent of Tess patterns too. Now, I will say if you want to use rotated grids on this size of paper, then definitely get the plain hexagons, not the pre-pressed. But if you want to do standard grids, bunch of 24s, then pre-pressed is a really great option. And I will say that of the stock that I have of things, the pre-pressed is the one I have the least stock of. And, you know, it's always possible that I run out of supplies. Hasn't happened yet, but there's reason to believe that it could this year. And if that were to happen, I would not be able to restock in time to get things to people before December 1st. So if you want the pre-cut hexagons, those are the rare item on the store, especially the ones with the pressed grids. And as for the printed crease patterns, this is the only run that I'm doing of that set of crease patterns. And so once they're gone forever. So definitely something to keep an eye on if you're looking for supplies for Advent of Tess. And like I can specifically say that there's some big publicity for Advent of Tess that's coming out later today. And bigger publicity in the next week and a half. So if you want to make sure that you get your hexagons, definitely don't delay. It also gives you more time to fold your grids before Advent of Tess. So let's say you only want to fold one grid a day, and you want to have all of your grids done before Advent of Tess starts on December 1st, then you'll need to start folding your grids in early November. And let's say it takes a week between when you order and when you receive it. That gives you a 1-week window to order your supplies. And if you're ordering after mid-November, I'm not going to guarantee that it gets to you before December. Just because then we're starting to fight Christmas shopping traffic. And the post offices get crazy starting the end of November. So definitely get your supplies early to have your grids folded early. And like I said before, the shipping cost is actually a bit on the low side. I've been tracking the data, and I'm spending a bit more in shipping than what I get this year. And I think, yeah, we're right about that time of year where all of the shipping carriers add holiday surcharges. So you're getting a deal on your shipping. So I've got 2 of the directions of 24ths folded. And getting those reversed, and then final direction. One of the things you might notice if you've been really paying attention to this gridding is that I start by folding the edge in one space, and then I immediately go to cutting 3 spaces in half, continue like that for a couple rounds, and I'll actually switch to 5 at some point, depending exactly when I feel like it. More and more I've been, so that's the switch to 5 spaces folded in half. More and more I've been doing the 5 halves on, so I used to save that for like 48 or 64 divisions, but now I'll do it on 32 and even 24. So almost done with this grid, and we'll check the backlighting to see how precise it is. Of course, it's one of my grids, so the precision isn't 100% tied to the starting press lines. There are ways to make any grid more accurate. And it's mostly reference to the existing grid lines instead of to the edge, which is good advice at all times. And backlighting. There we go. Nice, super precise grid lines, grid intersections. And what I'm seeing here is that all of these intersections are coming to a single point. You're not seeing gaps, you're not seeing little triangles in those grid intersections. So that's what makes an excellent grid. All right. And we can also say that it took me 17 minutes to fold the grid. Not bad. Especially if you use that as a time to relax or to chat with a friend or family member. So happy folding, everyone. I hope you'll check out the all the supplies for Advent of Tess. They're at gatheringfolds.com, and make sure to sign up for Advent of Tess too at training.gatheringfolds.com/advent. There's a lot of cool patterns this year, and yeah, so much fun. The themes this year are isoarea patterns, trapezoid twists, and flagstone motifs. And we actually have a couple patterns that have all three. As usual, it starts with some easier patterns to build the skills, starting with triangles all on one side, then triangles on both sides, then introducing hexagons and rhombus twists. Good morning, Zach. Glad you could join us. And then getting into some of these isoarea patterns. There was actually one earlier with these triangle twists. That's the same on both sides. These are getting into flagstone isoarea patterns. There's just so many things that you can fold with 24 grid divisions. And then into the really advanced stuff where you have just crazy things, getting into weirder twists, getting into a bunch of mixed depth twists, unfriendly mixed depth rhombi, yeah, getting some really crazy patterns that all fit on 24 grid divisions. And it's just kind of insane how many of these patterns. Okay, so this, I mean, technically these last two were also flagstone isoarea patterns with trapezoids, but there's also flagstone isoarea patterns where the trapezoids are touching each other. Two of them, in fact. And then this one, the rest of them are not isoarea, but they are lots of them with flagstone motifs. And all of these patterns can be repeated in multiple different ways. It's kind of crazy how these little mini tessellations can end up making an infinitely repeating pattern. And there's many ways to make that happen. Like, yeah, these are the things that you will learn in Advent of Tess. And I already talked about all of those supplies. Again, the pre-cut hexagons, these are fairly limited quantities. And if they run out in the next couple weeks, I will not be able to get them back in stock before December. So definitely go check those out. Happy folding, everyone, and I'll see you in next week's video.